Today on Rappler, the Commission on Elections proclaims 14 party list groups winners in the midterm polls. The regional results of the senatorial race does not support a 60-30-10 win pattern for Team Pinoy bets.
Yung server dito ng PPCRB o yung transparency, tinatanggap niya buong Pilipinas direct from Iticos. Kaya heavy traffic yan.
And Poll Chief Sixto Brillantes blames heavy traffic for the slow transmission of election results. PLDT says it's not true. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The Commission on Elections partially proclaims the party list winners of the 2013 midterm polls. On Friday, the National Board of Canvassers proclaims 14 party list organizations which will get seats in Congress. These are Buhay, A Teacher, Bayan Muna, One-Care, Akbayan, Ako Bicol, Abono, OFW, Gabriela, Co-op, Natco, Agap, Sibak, Magdalo, and Anwaray. Comelec Chair Sixto Brillantes says the NBOC will proclaim the other winning groups on Monday. In resolution number 006-13 issued Friday, NBOC says the initial proclamation entitles the 14 groups to one guaranteed seat. The final list of winners may depend on the Supreme Court after at least 4 disqualified groups ask the court to order the Comelec to count their votes. Brillantes, though, says he is, quote, not very happy with the results after 2 groups initially disqualified by Comelec, that's Ako Bicol and One-Care, won in the polls. The regional breakdown of results in the May senatorial race does not support claims about a supposed pattern of a 60-30-10 win for Team Pinoy bets. Ateneo mathematics professor Felix Muga II notes, quote, an interesting pattern in the poll results as reflected in the first to 16th official canvass of the Commission on Elections. He said that shows 60% of votes going to the administration's bets, 30% for UNA's candidates, and 10% for independent bets. Rappler studied the regional results of the race from officially canvassed results and found that nothing suggests the vote shares were anomalous. Team Pinoy swept the regions based on the aggregate votes of its 12 bets compared with UNA's 9, but the percentages each slate got per region varied. Rappler summed up all the votes in the senatorial race per region and got the percentage share of each slate from the total votes cast. We observed the following. 1. In the Cordillera Administrative Region and in Regions 1, 2, and 3, UNA got higher than 30% of the votes. 2. UNA's percentage share in the vote-rich regions of Southern Tagalog dropped below 30%, but independent candidates gained from this drop, getting 10% of the votes. 3. Nationwide, it is in the National Capital Region, NCR, where independent bets got their biggest share of the pie with 11.87% of the vote share. Team Pinoy got 57.54% of the vote share in the NCR, while UNA got 30.59%. 4. Team Pinoy got its biggest share of votes at 63% in Bicol, while UNA gets its lowest share at 28.09%. 5. UNA's percentage share in Regions 6, 7, and 8 in Visayas dropped below 30%, pushing Team Pinoy's share beyond 60%. 6. In Mindanao, including Caraga and the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, the UNA slate got more than 30% of the share. 7. If the results are broken down per capita or the average vote share of each candidate versus the total number of votes, the ratio is closer to a 50-40-10 sharing in Team Pinoy's favor. 8. The per capita share for UNA was lowest in Region 5 at 34.12%. New York University Dean of Science Michael Puruganan says the results show the actual votes of individual senators differ from region to region. He adds there's a difference of nearly 6% for Team Pinoy between the region where it performed well, that's Region 5, and the region where it did poorly in Region 2. Puruganan says it's not a conspiracy, it's telling us something real about political trends in the country and what the voters are voting for. Commission on Elections Chair Sixto Brillantes blames heavy traffic for the slow transmissions of election results to the transparency server. Brillantes says around 18,000 precinct count optical scan machines or PCOS machines had difficulty transmitting election results. The poll chief says congestion was the main problem, with 78,000 PCOS machines transmitting election results to the transparency server.
Yung server dito ng PPCRB o yung transparency, tinatanggap niya buong Pilipinas direct from Ipicos. Kaya heavy traffic yan. So it is not the Picos that's effective, it is the heavy traffic. Di lang yun. Meron din mga areas na walang signal.
Brillantes also says Comelec relied on cell phone signals to transmit election results, although he notes 25% of the Philippines had no cell phone signal. But that's denied by telecom giant PLDT. In a statement, PLDT says their networks, quote, did not suffer congestion or heavy traffic at any point throughout the election process. PLDT adds, traffic generated by the PCOS machines did not pose a problem for our cellular networks because each transmission was relatively small and was easily and quickly delivered by our data network. Following Comelec's requirements, PLDT coursed PCOS data through a dedicated virtual private network, a VPN. Brillantes also denies the defective compact flashcards found on Tuesday posed a major problem. Are the Ampatuans losing their grip on Maguindanao? Based on the unofficial tally of votes in the province as of Thursday, the majority of the candidates who belong to the once powerful Ampatuan clan are bound to lose, while the majority of candidates from rival clan Maguindanao have won or are set to win in the local races. Of the 75 members from the Ampatuan clan, only 24 won or are leading in the canvass. On the side of the Maguindanaos, 14 of the 19 who ran won or are leading in the count. Re-election is Ismael Maguindanao wins the gubernatorial race, beating his lone opponent, Tucao Mastura, who formed an alliance with the Ampatuans. The rivalry began in 2010 when Ismael Maguindanao decided to challenge Andal Ampatuan Jr. in the gubernatorial race. But in September of 2009, 58 people in Maguindanao's convoy were massacred by Ampatuan Jr. and his men, while Maguindanao was on his way to file his certificate of candidacy for governor. Ampatuan Sr. and Jr. have since been arrested and jailed in Manila. They are disputing that charge. President Aquino's party is being accused of using the flagship poverty alleviation program of the government during the campaign period. Voltaire Tupas reports.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Did President Aquino's own party use the government's flagship poverty alleviation program to buy votes? The victorious candidate in Southern Leyte claims the Liberal Party did.
Application, mag-apply ka, member ka ng purpose, pagkatapos yung isang page, yung na, candidate, Liberal Party, ito mga kandidato nila. Klaro-klaro yan, ebidensya yan, nga ginamit na yung purpose.
In turn, Liberal Party candidates are accusing Mercado of vote buying. But LP also admits it conducted a survey to help recruit 4-piece beneficiaries 10 days before the May elections.
The 4-piece issue the 4-piece we didn't use, but what we did, we worked closely with the National Anti-Poverty Commission, the NAPC. I have copies of the forms, but it was just blank forms because we did say we were going to help with the survey. And the survey that we were going to help with was going to determine whether or not you're qualified.
Experts earlier warned 4-piece can be used in the 2013 midterm elections, like what happened in South American countries which implemented similar cash transfer measures. An official from the Inter-American Development Bank says the cash transfer programs are prone to government manipulation. Reports that Liberal Party bets are using 4-piece for partisan politics anger Social Welfare Secretary Dinky Suliman. Her agency spent 10.5 million pesos for a campaign encouraging the public to report misuse of the 4-piece during elections.
Maliwanag yung bawal ng EPAL campaign. Give us the details and we will raise this to the Liberal Party. The bawal ng EPAL campaign stressed that Pantawid Pamilya and all other programs are not to be used for campaigning. And if there were, whether they won or not, we would like to know the details so we can raise this formally to the Liberal Party. We have raised formally to DILG at least 2 cases.
4Ps provides cash grants for education and health costs to more than 3 million poor beneficiaries. DSWD suspended the distribution of cash due to an election ban. The question now is whether the program's promise of benefits became a politician's promise. Will the DSWD secretary, a close ally of the president, go after the president's party? Voltaire Tupaz, Rappler, Manila.
Buhay is number 1 in the party list race in the midterm polls, but Rappler's editor-at-large Marites Vitug says the victory of the Catholic Charismatic Group does not prove the existence of a Catholic vote. Here's her video blog.
Once more, Buhay topped the party list race. It was number 1 in 2007, garnering more than 1 million votes. It slid down to number 3 in 2010 and reclaimed its top rank in this year's midterm elections. Buhay is basically the El Shaddai constituency of Brother Mike Velarde. A conservative group, it went against the RH law. But as we have seen, the victory of senatorial candidates who backed the RH law shows the absence of a Catholic vote. Yet Buhay, a Catholic charismatic group, won big in the party list contest. Is there a contradiction here? Not really. Akbayan party list rep Paul Danbello says, what we're seeing is the translation of Velarde's charismatic hold into votes. After all, Velarde's son, Michael, is one of the group's nominees. The Buhay phenomenon is a vote for Velarde rather than a vote for the Catholic Church. In reality, El Shaddai does not strictly fall under the Catholic Church hierarchy. But the bishops would not want the group, with a huge mass base, to slip away from their hold. This is Marites Vitug for Vitug Vlogs.
A bridge carrying a freeway over a river in the northwestern U.S. state of Washington partially collapses Thursday, sending cars and people plunging into the water below. At least 3 people are pulled out, but there are no reports of serious injuries or fatalities in the incident. The spokesman for Washington State Highway Patrol says the bridge's collapse may have been caused by a high-sided truck hitting a bridge span. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 4, British police arrest 2 after the brutal murder of a serving soldier in London Thursday. Police announced the arrests of a man and a woman for conspiracy to murder. Intelligence agencies were criticized after it became public the suspects were known to the security services. Prime Minister David Cameron appeals for calm after 25-year-old Lee Rigby was butchered outside a London army barracks. An extra 1,200 officers are deployed on the capital streets to reassure the public. At number 9, the Boy Scouts of America says it will allow openly gay youths to join the organization, but will keep a ban on gay adult leaders. The resolution, passed during an annual meeting in Grapevine, Texas, will take effect on January 1, 2014. The text says, quote, "No youth may be denied membership in the Boy Scouts of America on the basis of sexual orientation or preference alone." The 103-year-old institution, famed for its outdoor training programs and support of wholesome virtues, has close links to the country's conservative and religious heartland. And at number 10, a small Ecuadorian satellite collides in orbit with the remains of a Russian rocket. Ecuador's space agency EXA warns a space fender bender was likely between its Pegaso nanosatellite and the remains of the Soviet rocket S-14 launched into space nearly 3 decades ago. In a tweet, EXA's director Ronnie Nader says U.S. space officials confirmed Pegaso suffered only a glancing blow from the Russian space debris. Despite the collision, the satellite seems to be holding its course, though Nader says it's too early to determine the extent of the damage to the satellite. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page that crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers and viewers the most. If we take a look today, it's a green day, and you see some of the stories in Faces and Voices, A Search for Home. This is a Filipino in America writing about listening to Filipino in the subway. 48% happy, 30% inspired. Or 60-30-10, one of our top stories, regional votes don't support it. You see it 53% happy, 20% annoyed, 16% amused, and 8% inspired. That green vote mirrored in the story that's gotten the most votes for in the last 24 hours, Wow Wow Willie to end in October. 89% happy. Coming up with the mood of the day, it's a green day today. Most people are happy. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Friday, May 24th, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.